Technology integration frameworks. There are many frameworks involved with technology integration. The following slides will describe some of the most well-known frameworks. TIP, Technology Integration Planning. This specific model allows teachers to have a general approach to addressing challenges involved in integrating technology into teaching. There are 5 phrases that outline a set of planning and implementation steps that will help make sure that technology use will be successful and efficient in meeting needs. One is determine relative advantage. The second is decide on objectives and assessments. The third is design integration strategies. The fourth, prepare the instructional environment. And the fifth, revise integration strategy. Here on the left, we have a model or a picture of the TIP. Phase 1, of course, is determine your relative advantage, and then on the second, where the little oval is, it shows you how each of those flow from one phase to the next and how they are intertwined with each other and how they move on to the next phase. There is a link that I have provided, and it also takes you to a different model, which helped me understand this framework a lot better. This framework is something that really has critical thinking for a teacher to it as well. I mean, there's a lot of thinking that has to go behind this as far as deciding on your objectives and your assessments, how you're going to integrate those strategies into your classroom. This framework is very interesting, and I think it would be very helpful for teachers. Okay, and here we have the substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition model. This model offers a technique of seeing how computer technology might influence teaching and learning. It also shows a development that adopters of educational technology often will shadow or do as they see as they progress through teaching and learning with technology. And the next one is called Lottie, Levels of Teaching Innovation. The Levels of Teaching Innovation framework is a conceptual model to measure classroom teachers' implementation of digital age literacy. And this is something that's becoming more and more important in our classrooms. We need to make sure that we are implementing digital age literacy into our classroom that's going to be up to date and help our students learn better and more efficiently. Here is a picture of what has been called a Lottie sniff test. Every time I did a search for this framework, I often found this picture, and I found it very, very interesting for the fact that it's a nice little algorithm of how this framework works. First question is technology being used? If you say yes, you go down. Is there evidence of content related higher order thinking by students? You have 2 options to go with. You can go 2 ways with the word no, or you can go down by choosing yes, and so on and so forth. This is just a very, very interesting and very helpful algorithm that really explains and helps you to decide which Lottie level we're at. The Lottie framework focuses on the balance between instruction and assessment and the effective use of digital tools and resources to promote higher order thinking, engage student learning, and authentic assessment practices in the classroom. All of these characteristics are of the 21st century teaching and learning. The next framework is called TIM for short, Technology Integration Matrix. This matrix illustrates how teachers can use technology to help make learning interesting and helps enhance our K through 12 classroom. The TIM incorporates 5 interdependent characteristics of meaningful learning environments: active, collaborative, constructive, authentic, and goal directed. The TIM links the 5 levels of technology integration, which are entry, adoption, adaption, infusion, and transformation, with each of the 5 characteristics of meaningful learning environments. The 5 levels of technology integration mixed with the 5 characteristics of meaningful learning environments create a matrix of 25 cells, as seen on the next slide. Here we have the technology integration matrix. On the left-hand side, you see the characteristics of the learning environment, and on the top, you see levels of technology integration into the curriculum. And you see all of the entry, adoption, adaption, infusion, and transformation. And then you see how the characteristics of the learning environment are on your left-hand side, the technology the active, collaborative, constructive, and authentic, and goal directed. This graphic will help you to see how everything works together and how each one moves to the next, and how the characteristics of the learning environment and the technology integration characteristics, you'll see how they all merge together and mix together and form the technology integration matrix. Our last framework is called TPACK, Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge. This framework focuses on 3 primary forms of knowledge: content, pedagogy, and technology. TPACK goes way beyond just explaining how the 3 forms of knowledge are involved. It also explains the intersection where the forms of knowledge meet. This framework is by far the most interesting to me and the most valuable, in my opinion, to a teacher, because it really does show you how your pedagogy and your content and your technology all work together, but in different ways. I really like how it shows in this graphic how you have like a Venn diagram, and it's showing you how all of these merge together in the middle, and you have all of them working together. And especially how you just have 2 working together. So to say you've got technological knowledge working with pedagogical knowledge, or content knowledge with technological knowledge. This one was very interesting to me, and I really dug into this and really could see myself using this framework for myself in my classroom, because it would create a much more critical thinking on my end. And when I feel like I'm doing more critical thinking and putting more thought and more plan into my my work plans, my teaching plans, then I feel like I'm doing myself justice and my students justice, because I feel like I'm going to be able to teach them better and more efficiently. Thank you for watching. I have really enjoyed learning more about these frameworks, and there are numerous frameworks that are coming out on a daily basis for our teachers, and it's something that I think that all teachers need to check into regularly to see if there's anything out there new that would be of some use to us. And I just, it's frameworks is something that we all need to get used to working with and thinking about and making sure that we are using as we teach our students.